From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, no action against the ISKP is possible without direct and strong action against the terror state of Pakistan. In fact, all the terrorist groups are enmeshed together, and each one of them can be traced back to one country, Pakistan. So can the world's war against terrorism take place without taking on Pakistan? Let's debate.
8:27 p.m. The Pentagon confirmed the Kabul blast. Over 100, including 13 US Marines or soldiers, killed in the attack. The ISIS Khorasan has claimed responsibility for.
Kabul city is silenced and it's mourning the loss of at least 130 citizens. Still, there are some signs of Ahmad Shah Massoud in the streets, and the Taliban are only patrolling. Still, there are fear of the Taliban that they would attack the citizens.
The Taliban and Pakistan link is being called out. Amrullah Saleh says every evidence we have in hand shows that ISK cells have their roots in Taliban and Haqqani network, particularly the ones operating in Kabul. Taliban denying links with ISIS is identical or similar to denial of Pakistan on Quetta Shura. Taliban have learned very well from the master. The US president has tried to make a statement of intent.
To those who carried out this attack, as well as anyone who wishes America harm, know this: we will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay. I will defend our interests and our people with every measure at my command.
But no action against the terrorists who foisted the terror attacks near the Kabul airport can begin without action on Pakistan. It's common knowledge that ISIS Khorasan was formed by those who broke away from the Taliban. Now, what does ISIS Khorasan want? Now, they want to set up a caliphate in what they call the Khorasan region, marked here in red. And where does ISIS-K operate from? What is a safe harbor for them? Look at the regions in red. Afghanistan, parts of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and here is where they have been hiding all along, the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. And when America says we will strike ISIS Khorasan, will they also strike Pakistan? That's the question to ask. The ISKP is cut from the same cloth as the JEM, the LET and the Haqqani network, with a direct link to Pakistan's ISI. The Taliban connection to Pakistan is clear. Imran Khan is urging the world to help a terrorist group, and Pakistan army is saying it will train the terrorists.
They have to form a government first, and obviously whenever they come up with an answer to how they are going to look after their security, if they seek any kind of assistance in training from Pakistan, Pakistan will be more than forthcoming. We were forthcoming even before, and we will be forthcoming even after that. But it has to be a government-to-government level thing. It can't be the military's decision to engage on its own.
And as the world unites for a war against terror once again, is the only real option for it to start with Pakistan. Islamabad is cornered, and the world is watching. The deep terror network of Pakistan is all set to be obliterated. Let's debate.
A face-off first tonight between Chris Alexander, diplomat, politician, served as Canada's Minister for Citizenship and Immigration, joining us tonight, along with Zain Hussain Qureshi. He's a senior leader of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and Parliamentary Secretary of Finance, member of the National Assembly in Pakistan. Mr. Qureshi, welcome. Mr. Qureshi, can you first explain what your DG ISPR, General Iftikhar, today meant when he said that for a long time, exact words being, for a long time we have been training the Taliban. We've been giving them assistance, we've been giving them training, we would always be forthcoming, like we have in the past, to train and work with the Taliban. Can you explain what kind of training you've been giving the Taliban in the last 2 decades?
Arnab, thank you very much for having me on your show. But can we just start with your opening statement of calling Pakistan a terror state? How can you have any objective debate when you open a program with such a preposterous statement? As far as the DG ISPR statement is concerned, nowhere in the statement where otherwise, what he was implying or what he was saying was that we will, whoever is in charge in Afghanistan right now, if it's the Taliban or anyone else, whoever's in charge in Afghanistan, the will of the people of Afghanistan is what Pakistan will respect, and we will help them with whatever they need in order to govern Afghanistan so that there can be peace and prosperity in Afghanistan.
I tell you where Mr. Qureshi, you are wrong, is that you have said that he has spoken of the future. However, as Chris can remind you today, he has spoken of the past. He has said we have always been forthcoming in the past towards assisting the Taliban. So can you explain once again, how have you been forthcoming in the past? These were his words, not mine.
I cannot speak for an individual. I can speak for the state of Pakistan. And I will say this, that we have always been forthcoming with a political solution in Afghanistan. And as everyone agrees with Pakistan's narrative today, mind you, a narrative the Prime Minister of Pakistan has had for 20 years, that there is no military solution in Afghanistan. And what we need is an inclusive, negotiated political settlement. Finally, the world has woken up to that.
No, I mean, you know, the world is very clear right now that the source is Pakistan. I'll get Chris to debate with you. I'll come in. I think the whole world. I had just had John Bolton, former US NSA, on my program 45 minutes back. I just had many members of the American establishment. They had just one thing to say, that if there is a problem we need to tackle, it is Pakistan. That they're all in unanimity saying that. But Chris, Pakistan is still in denial. They seem to feel that even out of this, they're going to extract something.
Well, I feel sorry for our colleague on your program, Mr. Qureshi, because he is denying the undeniable and defending the indefensible. I mean, even Imran Khan has admitted on video, which I'm sure has been played on your program, as has the current Interior Minister of Pakistan, as have former DGs ISI, that Pakistan not only supports the Taliban, but that they created the Taliban, that the Taliban have been a creature of Pakistan's ISI from the very beginning. We can name, it's well documented, the actual ISI officers who put this outfit together in 1993-94, and they rode this horse to power in 1996. And now in 2021, in spite of the entire world lining up behind a peace process, behind the potential to, which was unrealistic as it turned out, to bring a peaceful power sharing agreement into a reality for Afghans and end a forever war that was started by Pakistani generals in the 1970s. In the face of all that effort by every country in the region and almost every democracy around the world, it is Pakistan that has imposed a military solution on Afghans. They invaded the country. And it's now very clear that in the wake of the 2020 agreement that Trump signed, which was an absolute disaster, military planners at GHQ went to work to set their clock ticking to begin an invasion after the last foreign troops left. And according to the agreement, they were supposed to leave at the end of April. The invasion began in early May, right after General Bajwa visited Kabul. So from their perspective, this has gone according to script, but it is in complete contradiction of everything they've said publicly. It is a grotesque breach of international law. It is an invasion that is much larger in scale than what Vladimir Putin did in Ukraine in 2014. And the world is just starting to see clearly what has been done, the level of sponsorship of these groups, state sponsorship of these groups that goes back decades. And with time, we are going to see finally this state held to account through sanctions and other measures. I would challenge my colleague to start telling the truth, because I think that's the best thing that anyone can do.
I agree with you on that, Chris. I agree with you. I wouldn't, but only difference between you and me is I wouldn't use the word challenge. I would say invite him. I would say request
yes,
him.
invite.
I would say beseech him. And I would request him to start by first telling me whether he believes that Osama bin Laden was a terrorist. Mr. Qureshi, my very pointed, specific question to you is, was Osama bin Laden a terrorist?
Osama bin Laden certainly did not help Pakistan's cause.
Was he a terrorist?
Can I just say
no, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll have to ask you the question again a second time, and I do not intend to interrupt you there. But you're forcing me to. It's a simple question. I am asking Zain Qureshi, a member of the National Assembly of Pakistan, a leader of the PTI, the Parliamentary Secretary of Finance, is Osama bin Laden a terrorist? Was he a terrorist?
Like I said before, Osama bin Laden was no friend of Pakistan's. Does not by anything. Can I just come back to what?
No, you can't. No, one second, Mr. Qureshi. I ask you a third time because I thought. Mr. Qureshi, please, Mr. Qureshi, your father, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, who's effectively the de facto Foreign Minister of the Taliban, going to China, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Iran to get support for the Taliban, who's the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, refused to call Osama bin Laden a terrorist. I am appalled beyond words tonight that you are refusing to call him a terrorist, even in these times. Why don't you do that? What is holding you back? What is holding you back, sir?
Arnab, you either take me on your show to give my point of view, or you can have the show with Mr. Alexander all you want.
Are you having having two different points of views on terrorism? Are you saying the person who carried out 9/11 was not a terrorist? Then say so. This is going to make global headlines. I'm asking you a fifth time, was he a terrorist?
And I am telling you, I am here to give you my narrative. Now, do you want
No, narrative is all right. Was he a terrorist? Yes or no, or can't say? Give me clear replies.
I am saying what he did is not condoned by anyone in Pakistan, and obviously he did us no favors. He did no one any favors, and his organization is a banned organization.
So you're saying he's not a terrorist?
I didn't say that.
So Hafiz Saeed, Osama bin Laden, Masood Azhar, not terrorists?
All banned organizations.
Hafiz Saeed, banned organization, operating freely on the streets of Pakistan, banned organization.
Can I come back?
No, sir. 1 minute. Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Sir, 1 minute. Mr. Qureshi, you refused to answer my last question. Are you aware that the ISKP has been recruiting from the Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Haqqani network? The entire organizational network of terrorists has been recruited from terror organizations like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Haqqani network. All of these are sheltered by you. ISKP.
Mohammed.
Yes, Chris, you're adding to that? Our friend is
Jaish-e-Mohammed as well.
Jaish-e-Mohammed as well, yes, absolutely. And during the Kabul Gurdwara attack, the ISKP terrorists were talking to the ISI handlers. You were involved in the attack on the Kabul Gurdwara. You're not going to be able to separate yourself, Mr. Qureshi. You're in a gigantic mess. Do you realize that? Especially after yesterday's bombing. You're not going to be able to separate. ISKP Emir Aslam Farooqi has links with the Haqqani network. Mr. Qureshi, why are you not being able to answer any of my questions, please?
Because
you seem to be lost for words.
The answer. If you want to call Osama bin Laden terrorist, by all means do so.
What would you call him? What would you call him? What would you call him, sir? What would you call him, sir? No, I'll call him a terrorist. What would you call him? What would you call him? You seem to be offended. You seem to be offended by my choice of words about the Al-Qaeda.
What I'm actually offended about is you calling my country a terrorist state. What I'm actually offended about is you calling my foreign minister.
Of course, you can have your views on that. But why are you offended about my description of the Al-Qaeda chief? One second. Is there something you're hiding from me, sir? Is there something you're hiding from me? Does it all back off to you or not? Is it or is it not true that the Jaish-e-Mohammed is responsible for the Pulwama attack? The ISKP's rise happened after it was flushed from the ISI? Why will the war of terror not start from you? From you, Mr. Qureshi. The source of terrorism is you. You are the reason for the growing influence of the ISKP.
For the simple reason, look, Arnab, you either want my point of view or you don't want it.
Well, you haven't given me any point of view.
That after Afghanistan, Pakistan has been the because you're not letting me. For the simple reason that Pakistan has been the biggest victim after Afghanistan of this war on terror. We have lost 80,000 lives in our country. We have lost over $150 billion worth of lost to our economy. So do not sit there in your fancy little studio and give me this talk about why terrorism should not start from us. We have been victims to this terrorism. The peace process Mr. Alexander keeps harping on about has been facilitated by Pakistan. The Doha talks have been facilitated by Pakistan. And our foreign minister, who you have the audacity to call a Taliban foreign minister, has been going all over the world and to the neighboring countries to facilitate a inclusive, negotiated
Why are you being sorry okay, so I put this across, Chris. You get touchy when I describe your foreign minister as the foreign minister of the Taliban, but you acknowledge at the same time that he's been trying to negotiate on behalf of the Taliban. Why does he need to?
He has not been negotiating on behalf
of course he has been on of course he has
on the behalf of Pakistan, and he was asked Pakistan was asked by the West, by the Americans, to come in and bring the Taliban to the talking table. That is what we have done. Unlike you, we don't have the luxury of sitting back. We share a 2,800-kilometer border with Afghanistan, and for us,
which they don't acknowledge,
as important in Afghanistan,
which they don't acknowledge, as you very well know. You should be well informed. They don't acknowledge the Durand line. They never acknowledge the Durand line.
They absolutely do.
They never acknowledged the Durand line the 5 years that they were last in power.
Well, as far
they don't
as
acknowledge it now. Do you have a written assurance that they acknowledge the Durand line now? Sir, we are very well informed, very well informed.
Going into lots of things that are not even pertinent. I'm sure you are, but then again, you're not going to let me give my point of view. Then what's the point of me having me on this program?
No, you're not being able to counter. You got shaken the moment I asked you to take a position on Osama bin Laden. Then tell me one more thing, Chris. I'll just ask you, why is your army refuse to launch a military operation? Why is your army refuse to launch a military operation in North Waziristan, despite the presence of the Al-Qaeda senior leadership and the Haqqani network there, except for the fact that you're funding them and breeding them?
We have successfully launched operations in all of Waziristan. We have been successful in curbing the terrorism in our parts of the country, and for that we are better off for it because
you're completely wrong there.
To reduce the violence in our country.
No, you haven't.
What was Zarbe Azab?
One only has
Chris is countering you, Chris.
To see that the only thing that's been shut down in Waziristan is that one of the MNAs for that unfortunately repressed region has been thrown in jail for insulting a general. Everyone who reports from Waziristan says that democratic elected moderate forces have been sidelined. The Taliban are there. They're taking part in the invasion of Afghanistan that began a few months ago. And the only reason, unfortunately, that this party exists as a governing party in Pakistan, the PTI, Mr. Qureshi's party, his father's party, and Imran Khan's party, is because they have all embraced this policy of using the Taliban as an instrument of state influence in the region. And so it is legitimate, absolutely, to call Pakistan a state sponsor of terror. And if there is instability in the region today, if there has been war in Afghanistan for decades and blowback in Pakistan, no one disputes that, it is because the world, neighbors and democracies further afield have failed to address this issue of Pakistan's use of terror, use of global jihad as an instrument of state power. It's scandalous, it's a threat to international peace and security, and it has to stop, starting with sanctions now. I met Imran Khan before he came into office in Toronto at a friend's house. I heard him hold forth about the Taliban for more than an hour. And I don't think anywhere in the world have I heard someone who was a more zealous exponent of the violence and the approach that they took to conquest in Afghanistan. I've never heard anyone outside Afghanistan or in Afghanistan be as zealous in their defense. So I'm not surprised he was selected as the prime minister, and I'm not surprised that he has, and everyone else in his government, have welcomed these developments so warmly. It's what they've been ordered to do by generals. They're not really in charge anyway.
Yeah, and Zain, you know, in Afghanistan, you had some bargaining position as long as the Americans were there. We're talking to John Bolton some time back. He said, we are not there now. The Pakistanis have no bargaining position with anyone in the world. So you are basically bargaining for yourself. What if the world refuses to bargain with you? What if the world clubs Pakistan, Afghanistan together and any organization, any terrorist organization as a target? What if the world comes together?
Arnab, unlike India and unlike the likes of Mr. Alexander, who I have great respect for, the world has realized that Pakistan's stance has been vindicated. Pakistan has always said that there will be no military solution in Afghanistan, and now the world has caught up to that. Now that that's happened, and now, I mean, tell me this much. This is an epic failure on America and NATO and all the allied forces' part, where they were not able to, where it was an intelligence failure on their part, where they were not able to see what was happening. But it wasn't Pakistan who installed
Zain,
Ali
did
there.
the Taliban not use military
Mr.
force
Alexander,
to take
if you
Kabul?
let me finish, please. If you would let me finish, please, I'd be grateful. It was not Pakistan who
but did they use force or not?
Run from Afghanistan with millions of dollars. It was not Pakistan who told the Afghan National Army to not put up any resistance to the Taliban.
But it was Pakistan. But Mr. Qureshi, it was Pakistan. It was Pakistan as exposed. But you can ask the foreign minister as well. It was Pakistan as exposed by your then national security advisor, Mahmoud Ali Durrani, who said, I'm ashamed of my country. Your national security advisor said, I'm ashamed because my country carried out the 26/11 Mumbai attack. And he said this while speaking at the 19th Asian Security Conference in Delhi. And you now say, I don't want to comment on that.
Well, I'm not going to comment on individuals and what they say and what their agendas are. But the fact of the matter is, I am a representative of the state of Pakistan, and I am telling you.
What is the view of the state of Pakistan on the Al-Qaeda, sir? Tell me.
The view of the state of Pakistan is that you need to have a negotiated political settlement in Afghanistan.
You are saying you need to negotiate with Al-Qaeda. You're saying you need to negotiate with Al-Qaeda.
You need to negotiate with whoever is in power.
Whoever is in power. So you would negotiate. But you just said there were banned organizations. You're contradicting yourself in a big way on a very widely watched program. See, you just said there were banned organizations. Now you're saying negotiate with them. Are you? No, Zain. You are saying you need to negotiate with banned terrorist organizations. How can that be a conceivable argument?
Unlike Mr. Alexander, I'm not going to question the democratic processes of countries or call their government selected or picked or whatever. Matter is, whatever the people or whoever they decide to be in power in Afghanistan, we need to negotiate with them, have an inclusive, politically settled government so that there can be peace in Afghanistan. That is what Pakistan
You can advocate that as much as you wish.
Wants today, and that is what Pakistan will carry on.
Well, we don't negotiate. You don't negotiate with terrorist groups. You'll be on the FATF blacklist if you continue this way. Zain, I can only tell you, the world is coming together. This is not to your advantage. It's to your peril.
Arnab, let's not even talk about the FATF blacklists and how India has tried
the world is coming together. You will face the same situation that Libya did in 1986. Only this time it won't be America alone, it will be the entire country. You are renting out your Prime Minister's official residence to raise funds. You have written a letter on the 8th of June to the Chinese Premier saying, I want an extension of debt repayment. The total debt and liabilities of Pakistan have been rising by 7% month on month. The ISKP will come for you, the Tehreek-e-Taliban. Pakistan, who you praise, killed your children, and yet you are not understanding. They want an Islamic caliphate. They'll say Pakistan should be part of the Islamic caliphate. Khorasan includes large areas of Pakistan. So I'm only saying, Zain, correct your course, so you got to watch out. And I tell you, a lot of people watching from Pakistan today, a lot of people watching this program in Pakistan are saying you're saying the right things to Zain. A lot of people from your country will be shocked that you are refused to call Osama a terrorist. Is not expected from you.
I thank you for your concern for Pakistan. Pakistan is fully capable of defending itself against whatever challenges it faces. Fact of the matter is, Pakistan has played the role of responsible neighbor, and Pakistan has tried to facilitate that process in trying to bring peace in Afghanistan.
Well, peace does not happen with whiplashings, beheadings, and stonings. Zain. It doesn't happen this way.
I agree with you, and I condone all of that. Any sensible person will condone that.
Then all the snakes you have in your backyard will come back to sting you.
Fact of the matter.
Don't nurture them.
Arnab, no matter what you say, fact of the matter is, after 20 years being in Afghanistan with NATO and American forces, which over $2 trillion spent, the Americans and NATO and everyone else has nothing to show for it. You have replaced the Taliban with the Taliban yourself by upping and leaving.
You should prepare yourself. Unless you change course, the Taliban is coming for you. They will sever away. They will erase the Durand line. They will carry out attacks again. Mark my words, Zain. 6 months from now. I am sure that's what you wish. Mark my words, Zain. 6 months from now, when I call you, you'll say, Arnab, I was wrong. When you asked me the first time, I should have called Osama.
Let's do that, Arnab. Let's do that.
Yes, let's do that.
6 months from now,
we will do that. We will do that.
And you and I can have another debate.
Absolutely, we will do that. We will do that, but you might lose Waziristan by then. I thank you all for joining me. Thank Chris and thank Zain Qureshi as well. And we go to a bigger panel now. That's Zain versus Chris Alexander. Now on the Indian side, we have Shazia Elmi of the BJP, General Sanjay Kulkarni, former Director General of India's Infantry, well-known defense analyst, General K.K. Sinha, Kargil veteran. We have with us Kamar Chima, looking very edgy, thinking, will the question on Osama come to me too? We have Muneeb Hamid, and we'll be joined by Ahmad Javed, Central Secretary Information of the PTI. Kamar, the turning point in my view has been yesterday's most unfortunate attacks, which have been carried out by the Pakistan-funded, Pakistan-sponsored Islamic State of the Khorasan province, ISKP. And the immediate fallout of this is that the war on terror will now start with you. John Bolton was on the program. I don't know if you heard him. He said now everyone's writing the problem is Pakistan. You think that by becoming a problem you will get money. You won't get any money this time because there is no permanent American presence in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a mess. So you're not going to be paid to handle the mess. What you've done for the last 30 years or so is you feel you'll get strategic depth by being present in Afghanistan and extract a financial deal out of it. So General Sanjay Kulkarni, let me begin with you, sir. Is Pakistan going to extract a financial deal out of it? Or is it going to be the target of a global battle against terrorism this time? General Kulkarni. Can't hear you, sir. General Kulkarni, I'm not getting your audio back. I think there's a problem. I'll just fix the audio in a minute. Shazia wants to start. Shazia and Kamar will start. Yes, Shazia.
First of all, yes, I want to start. I really want to start, and I want to say first of all that I didn't know there was any ambiguity about Osama bin Laden's haysiyat and status as that of a terrorist, and I discovered through this very stunning and brilliant face-off that you just did along with Mr. Chris Alexander and Mr. Zain Qureshi, that he was hesitant to call even Osama bin Laden a terrorist. But I want to make a few points, and please allow me 2 minutes. And many questions beg to be asked, and I'm glad that you have asked most of them. But you know, Abdul Rahim Mandokhel, he was from Pakhtunwali Milli Awam Party from Baluchistan, northern Baluchistan, a Pakistani senator. He said a long time back that the whole war in Afghanistan is being launched from here, that is in Baluchistan. That is the Quetta Shura that Amarullah Saleh was talking about today. And let me tell you, Lieutenant General David Barno, he used to be the retired former commando of the American forces. He says that it's extremely important, this Quetta Shura, because they are the intellectual and the ideological underpinnings of the Taliban insurgency. So there have been many reports, and also let me tell you, last point, 2009, the US ambassador to Pakistan, no less than Ann Patterson, said that we've been focusing on Al-Qaeda, but we should really be looking at Quetta Shura because that should be on Washington's list. Now, all these facts are out there for everybody to see. I want to ask one thing, and while I agreed with what Mr. Chris was saying throughout, that this is a grotesque treachery and all of that, and now West will be able to see more clearly, what more clarity can one seek, or ask for? Because this year, 21, month of June, so you know, just barely 3 months back, you know, I'm asking this question because Pakistan was found to be compliant on largely 31 on 40 parameters listed by the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force, FATF. Now, my question is, when there is a mutual evaluation and the group accepts Pakistan's stance and actually agrees that they have managed to plug many deficiencies when it comes to money laundering and combating terror financing, I wonder why, after all these reports out there, what stops them, the FATF, from putting Pakistan in the same list as that of North Korea and Iran? I mean, what is left to be,
it's a matter of time, Shazia.
Said or stated?
No,
there is evidence?
No, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, I'll tell you. And I think that the situation in Afghanistan, the events of late will accelerate that very quickly. Because, you see, Kamar, this suicide bombing yesterday has been carried out by the ISI and the Pakistani government. The entire world now agrees that the ISKP is a Pakistani operation. And I challenge you and Munib to debate with me on why it's not. I will then prove, right here, right now on the program, Munib, you're smiling, I will wipe the smile off your face, because I will prove that the ISKP is a Pakistani operation. You can debate with me. Would you like me to state some facts on why the ISKP is a Pakistani operation? And then you counter me with facts?
Please do.
Right?
Please do.
How many facts do you want?
Just a few true facts, maybe. Just one true fact will do the job, maybe.
Okay. First of all, I hope that you, unlike the previous Pakistani panelist, will have the courage to say that Osama bin Laden was a terrorist. You know, Pakistanis shock me every day now. Yeah. Why did he say he's not? Why did Zain Qureshi say he's not?
Arnab, I don't speak for Zain.
Okay, fine. You don't speak for Zain. Okay, first.
And Osama bin Laden was definitely a terrorist.
Okay, good.
And Osama bin Laden was trained by the CIA. Obviously, the world knows that. So if Osama was a terrorist, obviously the CIA was a terrorist itself.
I don't know why. Because the last time I knew, last time I knew that the de facto foreign minister of the Taliban, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, went on a television program where he was asked that is Osama bin Laden a terrorist? And he said, I will not answer the question. Anyway, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, so he didn't say yes or no.
I don't want to go there. Can I get General Sanjay?
He just said he didn't want to answer that question.
Okay, so I'll give you some counterfacts, but I've got the line with General Sanjay Kulkarni and General Sinha now. General Kulkarni, will this battle against terrorism now not start with Pakistan?
See, Pakistan is the root for international terrorism and the root cause of what is happening in Afghanistan today. There should be no doubt. Pakistan has been using terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Pakistan has accepted that they are responsible for training the erstwhile Mujahideen and also Taliban. Musharraf has gone on record to accept what he has been doing. And you had the people say very clearly that they have been training Taliban and they will continue to train Taliban.
Yeah.
And the ISIS, Khorasan, is absolutely nothing but an offshoot of the Haqqani network and of the ISI. The Haqqani network and even Gulbuddin Hekmatyar has been trained by the ISI and pushed into Afghanistan. Pakistan has all along been wanting to use the local problems within the Afghanistan, that is between the Pashtuns and the rest, has been wanting to see that they can create a regional imbalance by creating a strategic depth in Afghanistan. There has been no doubt all along Pakistan has been using terrorism, number one. Number two, Pakistan has been training Taliban, so much so that all the madrasas in Pakistan have been used primarily for radicalization. All Talibans are Pathans, but all Pathans are not Taliban. And that is where Pakistan has been using them against them. And there is reason for it.
So General Kulkarni, today the Pakistani panelists are denying their link with the Islamic State of the Khorasan province. And I am going to, like the peels of an onion, remove one peel at a time. जैसे कहते हैं मुखौटा हम आपके चेहरे से निकाल देंगे. Fact number one.
Just waiting for my turn to speak so that I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Your turn to speak. Your turn to speak with General K.K. Sinha on the other side. My first fact to you is the ISKP built its organizational network on the back of Pakistani support. And the ISI man, Pakistani national Hafiz Saeed Khan, was made its leader, and a former Afghan Taliban commander Abdul Rauf Aliza was made his deputy. Wasn't Hafiz Saeed Khan an ISI proxy? The whole world knows he was an ISI proxy. Please give me a specific answer to this question, Munib.
Right now, the world knows that the Indian media is portraying Hafiz Saeed as an ISI proxy, but the world knows for a fact that Indian media is based on propaganda and fake now. Now, let me respond to General Saab, who called Pakistan a terrorist state.
No, but you did not. No, you avoided my question. You said just one minute, Munib, listen. You're a journalist, so am I.
Yeah.
See, I am saying to you that I am coming prepared with facts. You quickly made a broad assessment on the Indian media and moved on. इसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं पतली गली से भागने की कोशिश. हम आपको पतली गली से भागने नहीं देंगे, मुनीब. And my question to you is, हम पतली गली ब्लॉक कर देंगे, आपको हम जवाब देने में मजबूर कर देंगे. My question to you is, in the last 6 years, the ISKP, when it built its organizational network, is it not true that the whole recruitment was from Lashkar-e-Toiba and Haqqani network, all of whom are sponsored and sheltered by you?
No, all right, absolutely not. Now, to know about ISKP, you need to be understanding the fact that they belong to the group of ISIL and ISIS, which were operating in Iraq and Syria, right? And these groups were created by the CIA to counter the Russian agenda. Now, the picture that you are playing on your screens, I've been seeing that. And the picture, just let me complete, please.
The gentleman,
please let me complete.
The whole world knows about it.
The gentleman, please let me complete, if you may. And then obviously I've been hearing all your
you are saying something.
Terrorist country. And if my
nation
was a terrorist country, just saying if
who
my
doesn't
nation
know
was
about
a terrorist
it?
country, do you think India would be on the map right now?
telling you about the first Quran.
These are ridiculous.
Quran Surah.
Indian media.
Khorasan Surah, first Khorasan Surah. He just took the name. He said Hafiz Saeed Khan. He also talked about Abdul, they were eliminated by Americans by drone attack. After that, he has not used the 3 more names. all amirs thereafter, they were eliminated in the area of Nangarhar, which is next to your Fatah area, former Fatah area, now Waziristan, and the camp which came in Khorasan, which is on the top of this Nangarhar area, was the money of Chinese, which the whole world knows about it today, because he has not brought it out, this particular thing. And they were also eliminated by...
So Pakistan...
See, please listen to me, give me a time.
I guess in the region which shares a border with Afghanistan,
because the people should know, the whole world should know.
Most importantly, the Indian media only has to cry about Hafiz Saeed, which is in custody of the armed
this
forces
literature
right
which I am saying is not from the Indian literature.
This
is the literature of Pentagon literature, a report which has come out. It came out to 2017 when they carried out 100 attacks.
When they call for a peaceful negotiation in Kashmir now.
Now there's...
Fred, I will just tell you,
Just one minute.
You heard about the name of Major General Baba in 1994 when he said that he has made the Taliban. And he will go to, Kabul, he'll get the red carpet treatment. And he got it, and there are videos of that.
Respect, you are older than me in age and in experience.
You can't tell lies.
The Taliban were not created by Pakistan. The Taliban were created by the US to counter the Soviets.
After the serial bombing, I'm very happy.
And every person
IS Khorasan
doesn't like is not a terrorist.
Just one minute. Okay, so may I intervene in this, General? May I intervene in this, Munib? Listen, see.
Yes, please.
The war on terrorism this time will start with you. That is Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Because allow me to complete, Munib, not with you as partners, but with you as complicit with the terrorists. The ISKP's support is on the basis of what it gets from the ISI, right? So point is, Kamar, no matter how far the tentacles of terrorism reach, they always lead back to Pakistan. Always the link back is to Pakistan. Pakistan is the main corpus which holds and controls these limbs and appendages of terrorism. Jaish-e-Mohammed is based in Pakistan. You tried, allow me, Munib, I'm speaking for your long-term benefit. You should not have tried to block the designation of Masood Azhar as a global terrorist at the United Nations. You did so. Why did you do so? Why did you do so, Kamar? Tell me. Why did you defend Masood Azhar? Tell me, Kamar.
Arnab,
yes,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. There are two kinds of frustrations in India. The first one is that nobody is buying India's story that we should call Pakistan a country which sponsors terrorism. Nobody is buying your story. The second thing is that the entire infrastructure of TTP in Afghanistan
just don't worry, the game has just started.
Because your investment has gone.
My friend, the game has just started. Even it is not come to 31st of August. Let this part.
The Honorable General needs to let.
Just wait for 3 or 4 days.
1 minute, just a minute.
You are still supporting
Kamar, see, Kamar.
Islamic State.
Kamar,
to create disorder in
Kamar, you must gather yourself. Kamar, gather yourself. Kamar, listen. Kamar, listen to me. Listen. Just 1 minute. I'll get. Kamar, you and Munib, just 1 minute, listen to me. You know, Shazia is on the debate. I'll tell you a couple of things. You are going to lose Waziristan. You will tell me, no, we will not lose Waziristan. I will give you some proof. Kamar, let me tell you. Kamar, saying, exclaiming, oh my God and all will not help you. Nobody will help you. God alone cannot help you. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. Listen to me, Kamar.
And next Balochistan.
Kamar, listen to me for a minute. Kamar, speak properly now. Why are you shouting like that? Kamar.
After Balochistan.
No, one second. Just one minute. You are.
Yes, I was about to say after Waziristan is going to be Baluchistan. It is going to be Baluchistan.
Remember, mark my words.
Just wait for one more week.
The Indian soldiers.
You know, it is not very far off.
You know, the end is near.
31st of August is not very far off. Mind you, biggest mistake you guys have done is, you know, this serial blast which we
It
did.
has nothing to do with
Your
Narendra
hands are up with the
Modi.
blood
It has to do with
of
you.
Afghanis.
It has to do with
And what
you
will happen
and
to the
Zamir.
Shazia and
She has
Kamar.
clearly
The
sold
whole-
out.
Shazia.
I don't know what's
Now,
happened.
This is exactly
You know,
what
Kamar, I don't know what's happened to you.
This is exactly what
Kamar,
Indian
I
media
don't
does.
know what's happened to you.
Kamar.
Pakistan.
A single person
And
here.
I know the lofty ideals it was based on. What has happened to your country and what
Just
you
Kamar and Shazia, please.
You have become dawdling beggars and you'll do anything.
कश्मीरियों को
You will do anything.
The Kashmiri
You will do
Mujahideen,
anything.
the
And
Kashmiri
it's shocking,
people,
and it's
just
shocking
give-
as to how
just
you're
do
ready
not
to sell the
respect people.
conscience and
And
you're ready to work against your own interest. I have no words to describe the fact that at this point of time that you have no remorse, that you're nurturing these snakes in your backyard, and that you're actually defending Masood Azhar, and you're getting China to back you on that at the level of United Nations, and you think the world is not noticing that your only identity is that of a rogue state as a terrorist state, that you have nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer but Atangwad and Dehshatgardi and terrorism.
Okay.
And you know the bad
Kamar.
part about terrorism, that it's going to come and get you. There is no end to it, Kamar. Kamar, there is no end to it.
Okay, Kamar, Shazia, 1 minute. Let me
It's a
ask
kind
you.
of poison.
Kamar, my
It is a
question.
kind of poison
Yeah,
that is going to-
Kamar, you see the fact is that when I tell you the reality in Pakistan, you get into this, you know, India is this, India is that. Leave India apart. I'll tell you a couple of things. First is Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, right? You say you banned them in 2001 after the 9/11 attacks. A minute. Please let me tell you. Don't shout. You see, your local media has reported that in the recent elections, 500 candidates backed by the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi are in Punjab's local governance system. Your governing system is made up of terrorists. Point number one. This is reported in your media, not Indian media. Okay, 1 minute. A minute, please. Why don't you don't enjoy being exposed or what?
The U.S. State Department and the New York Times, they have said it many times. They are militant organizations in India. आप भूल गए हो?
Now,
militant का पता
second
मतलब
point.
When Trump was in India,
Second point.
BJP goons were
Why are you shouting like that?
जब
Yeah.
सलील कुरैशी कह रहे हैं कि ओसामा बिन लादेन एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का हिस्सा थे, आराम से एबटाबाद में पाए गए थे, वो बहुत ही आराम से रह रहे थे अपनी मुख्तलिफ बीवियों के साथ, तो आपको क्या लगेगा? मतलब मुझे शर्म आती है कहते हुए. Kamar Chima, the fact of the matter is that you have become such beggars that you will stop at nothing. And you'll be reduced to nothing.
Okay, let me get back Munib and General Kulkarni.
That is a path of destruction you're on.
Let me get back Munib and General Kulkarni. Munib, the Taliban strategically.
The voice of resistance right now, the real one.
Yeah, you're saying something. Yes, Shazia.
And he escaped 2 assassinations. And both we know where they came from, and both were close shaves. And both were done at the behest of the ISI, only because he refused to make peace with the Taliban.
What will your...
And he knew that whether it's Taliban or ISIS-K, they vary in terms of their barbarity, in the levels of their, absolute barbarianism or medieval cruelty. There might be a variation there.
Now the ISKP,
that is the true and the only voice of resistance.
The ISKP so far was, sponsored and supported, and Pakistan had a relationship of sponsoring them and ensuring that they don't harm their own interests, and therefore Hafiz Saeed was also told to keep providing manpower to the ISKP. Now, however, Munib, if you've seen the recent statements, the ISKP has said that 50% of Pakistan's territory is actually ours. And they have said, as far as the Khorasan is concerned, this new Islamic caliphate that we are going to create, for which we will take Afghanistan, about 2/3 of Pakistan, and other areas of Central Asia. How are you going to deal with the ISKP? You've been funding them so far, but now they have bigger ambitions. How are you going to deal with them?
Well, the same way we dealt with your pilot who came to Pakistan. Obviously, we shot him down, and we'll take everyone down. Everything which comes in our way, we'll take them down, obviously.
But then,
now you're linking ISKP with Pakistan and telling the viewers that Pakistan has been funding this terrorist organization. Now,
yes.
You will take them down, but you will not take down Masood Azhar. You will not take down. No, you will not take down Osama bin Laden, who you'll provide a safe haven in your own home.
Please let me speak.
I mean, I don't understand.
How am I going to answer?
It's sounding very comical. You almost sound comical, and it's tragicomic the way you sound. It's so delusional how you sound.
And whenever
we will take them down.
Been given a chance to speak.
Who will take who down?
General speaks in
who will
between,
take who down? All the Mujahideen factions. The Jaish-e-Mohammed has teams, and each have the suicide bombers. Where is it going to stop? You want more Fidayins?
They wanted to become the tiger in Asia. They wanted to sit in the US.
No, there is no frustration. There is pity and just anger. And I feel sad for the people of Afghanistan. You have taken them back. You just feel sad. You feel sad for the people of Afghanistan who are suffering, who are desperate to flee, who want to escape the barbarity of Taliban and ISIS-K. That is all. That is all. Because we were aiding them.
Munib, I'll tell you one thing. Munib, I'll say one thing to you. I'll say one thing to you, Munib. Munib, you have to understand. You have to understand what happened after the... You have to understand what has happened globally. You must understand you played your last card. You have no cards left anymore. The ISKP was your last card. But as they say, sometimes, Munib, one piece of advice before we close today. Never overplay your hand. Even in a game of cards, you overplayed your hand this time. You overplayed your hand this time. And you're going to be made to pay. And we'll watch the fun. We are going to make you pay this time, Munib.
We saw how India made us pay. I mean, India has been portraying Pakistan.
And ladies and gentlemen, Praveen Nair writes to me saying, it's a pleasure to watch the interaction with John Bolton. Thank you, Praveen. Glad you liked it. It's on republicworld.com. Ambika Jain says, very informative and detailed debate, especially the calm of Ambassador Bolton and others on the crucial crisis situation created by Biden. Thank you, Ambika. Vishu says from Bengaluru, you're bold in speaking the truth to US about Pakistani terrorists and Afghanistan. Love Republic because you throw the truth to any powerful powers in the world. Thank you very much, Vishu. This has been a very interesting week as far as global news is concerned. And we look forward to covering much more with the launch of Republic Global in the near future. Till then, good night and goodbye.